Welcome to EU Privacy for All, Session 63 on GDPR, Reports of the EDPB, Article 67. The European Parliament suggested that the drawing up of EDPB reports would intervene at least every 2 years, instead of annually. On its side, EU Council retained an annual report regarding the protection of natural persons with regard to the processing of personal data both in the Union and where relevant in third countries and international organizations. It also mentioned that this annual report shall include a review of the practical application of guidelines, recommendations and practices recommended by the final draft of Article 67 retained most of EU Council proposals. It finally lays down that an annual report will be drafted by EDPB, tackling Union, but also where relevant third countries and international organizations issues. The report will be made public and also be transmitted to the European Parliament, the Council and the Commission. The annual report will include a review of the practical application of the guidelines, recommendations and best practices referring to the GDPR overall application and binding corporate rules, as well as regarding binding decisions taken in the frame of the consistency mechanism. Currently, Article 30 of the directive lays down most of the proposals finally retained in Article 67 of GDPR. That is to say, Working Party shall draw up an annual report regarding the protection of natural persons in the community but also in third countries, and it shall transmit to the Commission, the European Parliament and the Council such report. Additionally, the report shall be made public. What should accountable data controllers and processors get prepared for? First, knowing that EDPB will still have to draft an annual report addressing issues regarding data protection in the Union, but also in third countries or international organizations. This report will be made public and transmitted to European Parliament, Council and Commission, as it is the case today. It will include a review, and this is new, of the practical application of the guidelines, recommendations and best practices regarding the general implementation of the GDPR and binding corporate rules, as well as the binding decisions taken by the EDPB in the frame of the consistency mechanisms. So the question triggered regarding the drafting of annual reports by EDPB is knowing whether a more practical and consistent application of EU data protection rules will be promoted by such a review within the report that will be drafted annually by EDPB.